We're out back at the oval. Time to make this thing a whole lot better. Hey, Gore here, Canadian RC guy. Well, as you can see, we're out back at the oval. It's time to start making some improvements. And actually, we've already started by a little bit. I'll spin around here and I'll show you what we got going on. So, as you can see back here, we've already got the back wall taken out. The back wall was right about here. Show you down here, right about here. And we've got it stretched out to a back about here. So we're gonna be about 44, 46 feet long. Not quite sure how wide yet, because as usual, everywhere back here, rocks. Big, humongous rocks down there. So, because it's right here on our corner, we're gonna be able to bank our dirt up and our clay once it comes. So hopefully that one rock won't be any problem. And hopefully we don't see any more big rocks as we kind of stretch this thing out. We gotta get all this grass out of the center. And we're gonna be digging this tree out of the ground here, right here. We're gonna cut this thing down, get the roots out, so that way we can get a few more feet over to the side. We'll see if we can get a little bit more over on that side as well. This side over here, I don't know if we're gonna dig this tree out. It looks like a pretty big one. And then we got another tree here and a bunch more on the other side. So we're gonna start with this side, see if we can get a few more feet, and then we'll go from there. So give me a minute. We're gonna continue working down on this end. We'll bring up along the side here, and then we'll bring you back in a little bit once we get a little bit further. So we figured we'd bring you back in, show you where we're at. We've got this big corner all dug out, as you can see, stretching the track back. And unfortunately, like we thought, I gotta find it. There's one over here somewhere. Oh, right here. We got one big rock right here in our way. And then one over here on this side, you'll see it. It stands out pretty good. One big rock right here that we're just not gonna be able to move. Little tree, don't worry about. But then we've got our sides dug up all the way across, kind of a level with that rock. And I guess we're gonna be kind of having to bank our track just to be able to cover up that rock. So we've gone all the way along here and dug it out to try and stretch it out a bunch, right to the edge of where this tree used to be. And then down here at the beginning of this corner, the end of this corner, however you want to look at it, we've got another big ass rock in our way. So of course we're gonna have to bank it out, but we're gonna widen out our corner there a little bit, and that way we can get it a little bit nicer and a little bit wider. And then here we started to take out some of the grass in the center. We're gonna get that back out there about here. That way we've got nice big corners. We'll straighten this out, get a little bit of this grass out of the center, but we will probably keep some of it just so that way we can stand and film when we're racing. If we want, we can have someone stand right in the middle. Gives us our banked edges, that kind of thing. So we're gonna continue on, and I guess you can see over on this side, we're starting our digging and getting most of that grass out of the way to widen it up. So we're gonna continue on, getting this grass out of the center. And then we'll bring you back as we're starting to kind of move things around a little bit. Get this thing back in order. So we got most of the digging done. I figured we'd bring you back in for a few minutes. We still got one tree there we got to get out of the way. Nothing big. And there's our one big rock that's in the way over on this side that we're definitely going to have to bank up over. We're just kind of starting to get our board set in place just to give us our corner. Still have a little bit of work and digging to do here to level them all out. Got our sides done here, pretty well dug out as far as we can get to where our rocks and trees and stuff were. We've got one big stump or root there to cut out. And as you can see, we're making our way to the back. We've got to get our board set up here to extend our corner out. Then we're gonna have a bunch of these big old vines or roots, whatever they are, to yank out of the ground before we can get any dirt spread out. There's that one big rock on this side we need to fix or go around, bank up, however you want to say, because it's staying in the ground. We did get one big rock out of here, and then we're dug up all the way back down to the other side. So that should widen this thing out nicely to about 18 to 20 feet, and we're going to have about 45, 50 feet long. So that should really help us out a lot, be able to run some of the bigger cars, and obviously perfect for the little cars. So we're gonna go ahead and keep digging. We got rain on the way, but hopefully we can get some more done before it comes. bring you back in for a few minutes here. So we started working on our corner, getting the bank put in there. We've kind of got to be about this high because that's where the rock sits and allows us to have some dirt on top. And then obviously, hopefully once we get some clay, we'll be able to put a layer of clay across this whole thing. And we're just working our way back up this other edge here. We got that tree out of the way. We'll get this out flattened as nice as we can, all the way up through here. And this is where we're gonna have to start the bank in for this corner because we've got this rock here. Shouldn't be quite as bad as the other one if we don't want it to be. Got a few big roots here to yank out still. A little bit more of the sidewall to put back together. And then of course, we've got to come along this side here, get it all flattened out, get the inside taken care of. We got one big root there we got to take care of from that big tree up over there. And a bunch of cleanup. But it won't be too much longer. We're going to be able to start turning some more laps on this thing. Well, here we have it. I think we've pretty well got it down to where we need to have it before we can start adding some clay. Got this corner and this side all done. As you can see over here, we managed to get one of these big, huge rocks out of the way. So that's not going to be a pain in our ass. We're still going to have to extend our wall. We'll figure out what we're going to use for that. Maybe we'll just buy some long 12-foot boards, 6 inches high, that kind of thing, and start stretching them out and staking them in. Over here, we had all these huge roots we had to cut out and rip out. That took us forever, but I think we've got her done now. Obviously, it's not perfectly flat. Corners aren't all banked or anything like that because we're going to be adding some clay to the top of this, so not a big deal. But for the base, I think we've got it pretty good. We've cut this corner back so it's nice and big like the far end. So now our track is, I guess it's just shy of 20 feet wide. It's like 19.5 feet wide by 50 feet long. So that's going to be pretty good. Obviously, I wish we could make it a little bit bigger. And it looks like we've got a ton of room. But man, everywhere we go is just massive, massive rocks. You can see, we wouldn't get this end out 2 feet, maybe 1.5 feet before we hit a huge rock there. And we've got another big one over there as well. So it's just not worth all the aggravation. So like I said, we may just end up running smaller cars, which is probably going to be the case. Running some 116, 118 scale, modifieds, late models, whatever we decide we're going to build. Still, hopefully we can run our big cars on here because that would be ideal as well. So obviously we're not going to worry too much about the grass and stuff like that because we are layering some clay on top. But I think we should go charge something up, come out here, turn some laps, and see how it is now that it's a bigger track. So we figure since it's not really ready to drive our modified or anything like that on yet, we'd bring in a few things to turn a few laps with. I'll flip the camera around and I'll show you what we got. So over here we got our trusty Slash. We brought out our Mini B, our vintage Mini T, and then we got our Bigfoot #1 over here that we just changed over to BL2S system. So this thing should be nice and quick and a heck of a lot of fun. So we're gonna get a couple of batteries thrown in these and let's turn a few laps. So we figured we'd start off with our old Bigfoot here. Now that she's a little faster, probably. They never turn very good, but man, they do great wheelies and they roll okay. She, oh, definitely has some speed to her now. And oh, all over the place. Oh, cut our wall. Thing pretty well turns like a tank. But man, it does great wheelies. Get a little speed running down the front back stretch here. Definitely a lot faster now. Oh! Think maybe started something that turns just a little bit better. But man, this thing jumps great, and the wheelies and rollovers are amazing. Time for the vintage Mini T. Turn a few laps with this thing. It's got a little bit more speed now that we've put in that old Traxxas electronics. Still definitely does not handle the best, but you know what? This track obviously doesn't help with all this grass and stuff like that. But once we get some clay thrown down, I'm sure that this thing will do a lot better. You can get a jump with it. Oh, roll. Oh, once you get to that loose dirt, it goes wherever it wants to go. You can get a good one. Oh, there we go. She just kind of bounces and skips its way along. There we go. That was a great one. Well, before we do much more damage to this thing, I think we'll put her back up on the shelf. Definitely great little car. Well, before we even got started with this thing, we've already broken a caster block. Looks like it's time to order some parts for this thing. Well, unfortunately, the rain has come through, and that's ruined our fun. I don't think we're going to get to run the Mini B in this video, but we'll get back out pretty soon because we have a pretty big build coming up with that thing. It's going to be perfect to run on this oval. So if you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button down below and ring that bell. That way you get all the new upcoming videos. We got a crawler course to build outside here. We're going to be working on that rally track over there. And of course, we're going to be back at this track adding some clay. We got walls to put down the sides, a whole bunch of other stuff coming up. And if you like this video, give us a big thumbs up because it helps us out a ton. So thanks so much, and we'll see you again next week.